Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So, with the COVID-19 going around and the more and more shelter in places going up in different states and different cities, I thought that it would be really fun to kind of get our minds off it, just have a little chat, you and me, about some cool things, like some things you can watch to kind of escape from all the news and the overwhelming factor of it all. Like, I know that I'm super overwhelmed and even scared a little bit, not for me, but for my family. And being really far away from them is so hard right now, just because I don't know what's going to happen. And also the uncertainty of life right now. Like, classes are online for school, so that's good. But other than that, I don't know anything. I don't know how long my job's going to be here. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills if something happens to my job. And, I'm just in the same boat as a lot of you guys are. So I thought to kind of escape from it, I would give you some TV shows that will give you a good laugh or just make you feel happy and just help you escape all of this craziness that we're living in right now. So, the first recommendation I have not finished, so there will not be any spoilers. It'll just be a little tidbit about each of the shows. The first one is Glee, which is a feel-good musical kind of show. It's about this high school choir class who sings, and there's like relationships and friendships, and it just makes you happy to watch. And then there's singing and dancing, and who couldn't want that, So, yeah. Before I go any further, I do have to mention that most of these are sitcoms, and most of them will make you laugh out loud, which I think is great for us right now. We kind of need something like that in our lives. The first sitcom is New Girl, and I think I'm probably one of the last people in the world to watch it, because me and my husband just finished it a few months ago, and we haven't really found anything else to binge watch. What we do is we find like these sitcoms, they're our favorites, and we find really good ones, and then we binge them and they're over so quick. But that's kind of how it works for us. So it's been a few months. We're looking for a new sitcom. So if you have any recommendations of sitcoms, put them in the comments down below. I would love that. I need that in my life right now. But New Girl is about Jess. She moves into this apartment with a few guys as her roommates, and shenanigans happens. What else would you expect from a sitcom? But I really loved New Girl because of Jess. I felt like we were twinsies. She's played by Zoe Deschanel, but more than that, she's a teacher in the show. I'm going to school to be a teacher. And she's kind of like an awkward, oddball character right here. So I felt like we were like kindled spirits, and that's exactly why I fell in love with New Girl, and I think you will too. She's such a quirky, lovable character, and you'll just love all of it. All the shenanigans. Okay, this one is kind of, well, not really older. It's just a few years old, but it's Young and Hungry, starring Emily Osment, and it's another sitcom type show. It's Gabby, played by Emily Osment. She is a chef, and she goes to this billionaire's house, and she tries out to be his personal chef. She gets the gig, and then they kind of fall in love, and it's a kind of like a Ross and Rachel thing from Friends. Will they? Won't they? Will they? Won't they? And that's the best part of the show, in my opinion. And then there's like friendships and food, and it's just an all-around fun, hilarious time. So I think you'll like it. The next one actually still has new episodes airing. Funny story is that they took this show off the air for a year, then a different channel picked it up, and some of the characters, some of the actors and actresses were not available anymore, so they had to replace some of the characters, and that was I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love it at first, but I've grown to really love the new cast. But Last Man Standing is that sitcom that got canceled on NBC, and then Fox picked it up a year later after the fans petitioned, I believe. And I'm so glad that they did. But yeah, a lot of the actresses weren't available anymore, so yeah, I was really upset. But, you know, I've grown to really like the new Mandy. And I like that they didn't just, like, brush over it. Like, in the very first episode on Fox, they made a comment about how it was a new actress, and it's just a really funny, politically incorrect type of sitcom, and I'm pretty sure that Tim Allen writes his own script, or like says, you know, he just says what he wants to say. He doesn't care. And I love it. It's just so honest in this time of need that we have, you know? It's very hard-hitting. They don't do it in such a serious way that you're gonna get all emotional like I am. They do it in such a way that you kind of laugh about, and you're like, oh my gosh, the toilet paper crisis of 2020? What? Like, it'll just make you laugh, and that's what we need. The next one, I was very surprised that I liked, because I have, until I found this one, I have yet to find a workplace sitcom that I like. I do not like workplace romance books either, or workplace books at all in general. So I just thought, me and workplace stuff don't get along too well, you know? But then Brooklyn Nine-Nine came about, where I found it. I probably found it. It's probably been around for a while. But I found Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Peralta and his troublemakerness is so amazing. And then him and Amy and their chemistry. Oh, And then, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting the side character's name, but Peralta's best friend, he gets so jealous when Peralta wants to hang out with Amy or, like, talks about him. He's like, well, I'm your best friend, you can't talk about anyone else. And he's, like, such an oddball character as well, and I absolutely love him. I just love the whole team, the whole precinct, and they go about their crime fighting, or their crime fighting in such a unique way. And I never thought that I would like a show that was so, like, just not serious at all about working. It's just a playful, funny time, but it's so good. I think, honestly, it is the characters in Brooklyn Nine-Nine that get you attached and make you have to watch it. If it was anyone else, I don't think that show would work, but it does. And then this next sitcom, I think, got canceled way too soon. There are only 2 seasons. It's on Hulu, but it is The Mick, and oh my gosh, so it's about this woman goes to her sister's house, but her sister and her sister's husband have left town and left her spoiled kids in the house with their maid. And when the aunt gets there, she's like, oh, they're only going to be gone for like a week or 2. And then her sister is a criminal and they're on the run. So it ends up being longer. And at first the kids, like, don't want anything to do with their aunt. And it's just so funny. Like, they treat her so badly, and she stays. And they kind of warm up to her in a weird way, and they end up just being this very unconventional family. But it worked. And I think it deserves more than 2 seasons, but what do I know? Probably nothing. And I was thinking about workplace sitcoms. It's not on my notes, but I guess I lied when I said Brooklyn Nine-Nine was my first workplace sitcom that I really loved, because back in the early 2000s, there was this little sitcom called Scrubs that took place at a hospital that was hilarious and that had friendship, had heart, had relationships, and it was a really good show. It was one of my favorites back in the day, back in early 2000s. So yes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie. Okay, and then the last sitcom on my list is How I Met Your Mother, which is just so good. It's got the friend group, Ted, Barney, wait for it, Lily, Marshall, and Robin. And it's just a big mystery of who is Ted's kid's mom. And from the very beginning, he says it's not Robin. But I was holding out hope the entire time that it was Robin. And it's just like this love story type of thing. but it's not a love story. I mean, it is, because you see the different love interests that Ted had throughout the years until he meets his kids' mom. And by the way, I'm not going to say what happens, but I think we were totally gypped on the ending of that series. I wasted 10 years of my life watching that, and then the ending just broke me. Maybe it was supposed to, but I did not like it. And then, you got Lily and Marshall, who are the, it couple, hashtag Lily Marshall relationship goals was a thing. And Barney was just the bachelor who always got in trouble, and it was just an all-around good sitcom. It was really funny, had heart, and I feel like I'm repeating myself so much, and I feel like I'm a broken record, and I'm so sorry, but I really don't know how else to describe these. So the last two recommendations are not sitcoms, so you have a couple other choices. So one is America's Funniest Videos, and there's really no point to this show. It's just clips of people doing dumb stuff or hilarious stunts, and I just love laughing, and especially in this time, we really need to laugh. My favorite, I always get super excited when the dog park comes on, because I have 3 dogs, and I love watching other people's dogs, and usually, I get really excited when the dog park comes on, but I don't laugh. I just go, "Aww, aww, aww, they're so cute." I don't know how you can laugh at puppies. They're adorable. Okay. And my last TV show recommendation for you is actually a game show. And when I heard about it, I was kind of like, what? Because it sounds really weird, but I swear it is amazing, and you'll be hooked after one episode. But it is The Wall. So, Chris. Sorry, I had to look it up, but the host is Chris Hardwick, and he also hosts Talking Dead, or at least he used to at the beginning of The Walking Dead. I don't know if he still does. I'm so far behind on that show. I kind of gave up on it. I don't think I'm going to finish it, honestly. If you watch The Walking Dead and think that I should get back into it, leave it in the comments below. I'll take your advice to heart and think about finishing it, especially now that I have all this time on my hands. But The Wall, hosted by Chris Hardwick, is literally this wall that has different numbers. It's kind of like a Plinko board, bingo board, Plinko board type thing, where the balls are at the top, and as they go down, they go into different sections, and that tells how much money they're going to make. The first round is both two people, usually a husband and wife, sometimes sisters or best friends or mother-daughter, whatever, whoever you're there with. 2 people will answer 5 trivia questions at the beginning to make a bank. And then one of them gets sequestered into a different room where you can't see anything, you can't hear anything. And the other one places the balls at the different sections at the top this side is more higher stakes, and this one's lower stakes. So typically if it's on this side, then it's like you're less confident in your teammates' answer or answering abilities. And you don't see the question at first. You only see the 3 or 4 possible answers. So it's multiple choice. And then you pick where you're going to go, if you're going to be really confident or not so confident in their abilities, based on the answers only. And then it goes and shows the other person who's in the room, and they have to answer. You hear the question and they lock in their answer, and if they get it right, then you get that ball goes down into the little section, and wherever it lands, you adds that money to your bank. But if you get it wrong, then it goes down to one of those sections, and it takes that away from you. The really cool thing about this particular game show is the one that's locked in the room by themselves can't hear or see anything. So they will get an offer, and from the first 5 questions, you know you have that much. And then depending on how many questions you get more, or how many questions you get right, will add more to your bank. So say that you start with 100,000 in your bank. Then when you go into the little room by yourself, and there's 6 questions, and say that you get 3 of those questions right, that is 60,000 because it's 20,000 per question. So it would be $160,000. So you can sign that offer and take that $160,000. The catch is, you don't know how many you get right when you're in there. You don't know until you come out at the end of the game. So it sounds a little complicated, but I swear it's not, and it's so much fun to watch. And so you have to pick, when you're in there, if you're going to take the money or if you're going to rip up the offer and just play for however much your opponent is getting on the board. And on the board, you could have millions or you could have nothing. And so it's kind of like a game of chance, but it's also a game of skill, like how good are you at trivia, that kind of thing. So I don't know, there's just something about this game that is so addicting. So I definitely recommend it. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to me. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.